our meeting this evening. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Our first order, our item agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be given by Camming, and then our inspirational thought will be given by Crystal.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Thank you, Crystal. We now have time for community comments. We have up to 30 minutes set aside for public comment. This opportunity is allocated for patrons living within the Alpine School District boundary. A sign-up sheet was available prior to this meeting, allowing up to 10 patrons the opportunity to speak. Those living outside of ASD and those who were unable to sign up before all slots were full can submit written comments at alpineschools.org/schoolboard. Scanning the QR code in the lobby will also direct you to that form. As you are called up, please introduce yourself by stating your name. You'll be given up to 3 minutes to speak. While the board does not engage in a discussion during the public comment period, they may arrange for a staff member to communicate with you later. Personnel issues are not appropriate discussion items for an open meeting environment. If you have a personnel concern, please contact a member of administration or put your concerns in writing and address it to the Board of Education. And it looks like we have 1/2/ comments tonight. Okay, so from our Region 9 PTA, Kim and Michelle.
Getting Tweedledee and Tweedledum up here. So I'm Kim Topham, Region 9 Director.
Michelle Sorensen, Region 9 Associate Director.
And we are going to look at our notes because we want to get this right. So as the directors of Region 9 PTA, it is our privilege to represent all parents and children in Alpine School District. And tonight we wanted to express our deep appreciation to Dr. Farnsworth as he retires from the Alpine School District. I'm sorry. We want to share our immense appreciation for his exceptional leadership and unwavering support over the past 4 years.
In the course of our meetings and interactions with other PTA leaders across the state, it has become evident that our partnership with Alpine School District under Dr. Farnsworth's guidance stands out as the most collaborative and supportive across the entire state. He understands the value and importance of successful homeschool partnerships. His dedication to fostering school relationships with the collective 85 PTAs within the district has truly been remarkable.
We are especially grateful for the leadership mentoring he has provided to our region board each month. His insights and leadership training have empowered us and significantly strengthened our efforts to advocate for students, families, and schools.
Furthermore, we appreciate Dr. Farnsworth's foresight and commitment to initiating the division of Alpine School District in such a positive and constructive manner. His leadership ensures that each new district is well positioned for success, a testament to his dedication to the long-term well-being of each student.
Thank you, Dr. Farnsworth, for your outstanding service, your profound impact, and your genuine commitment to our students and families. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Okay, it is time for us to consider the approval of minutes. Do we have an approval?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Board Member Beeson and a second by Board Member Wilson. Do we have any comments? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to call for a vote, and I'm going to do a roll call. If all in favor, if you would please indicate with an aye vote, if opposed with a nay vote. Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Aye.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson.
Aye.
And then Board Member King, I vote aye. Okay, so that passes unanimously. Next up, claims, Superintendent.
Yes, you've received the claims for this month, and I recommend that you accept the claims.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the claims?
I move that we accept the claims.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Clement and a second by Board Member Peterson. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to call for a vote. Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Aye.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson.
Aye.
And Board Member King, I vote aye. That passes unanimously. Superintendent.
Yes, the routine business this board meeting includes a budget summary, Alpine Foundation board summary, personnel hiring releases, and LEA-specific license. I recommend your approval of the routine business.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the routine business.
I move that we accept the routine business.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Bateman and a second by Board Member Lincoln. Any discussion? Okay, next to the vote, Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Aye.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson.
Aye.
And Board Member King, I vote aye. That's unanimous. Okay, we're just trucking along.
Wow, this roll call is new and improved. It's a good time to consider other opportunities. So. We have 4 items, 4 policies on the agenda tonight for discussion and action. I would invite our legal counsel, Craig Brinkerhoff, to come forward to answer any questions that the board has. Appreciate the work of our board members who are on the policy committee. We will handle these one at a time, and as indicated on the agenda, they are discussion action items. If after discussion the board feels ready to move on the recommended action of revising all 4 of these, we'll do them one at a time. The board could make a motion to move it to an action item and to accept the revised policy. So the first one is policy number 4062, transfer of educators.
Thank you, Superintendent. This policy was revised in cooperation with our HR department and it's the association. What they asked for is some clarification language at the very end that's consistent with 53G3308. The statement says that educators hired between the reorganized school district within 1 calendar year of July 1, 2027, the allocation date for the reconfigured district, retain their employment status. So we looked at that as a committee with HR department, felt like it was appropriate to include and didn't cause us any undue hardship, and so we present that to the board for your consideration.
Okay, so this is a discussion slash action item, so it can be, a motion can be made and we can move forward, or we can
I
sit here
move
off.
that we approve policy number 4062, transfer of educators.
Second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion by Board Member Wilson and a board member, and a second by Board Member Clement. Do we have any discussion?
I think this is just an assurance for our employees of the stability that we hope to achieve in our future school districts.
Okay. We have a motion by Board Member Wilson, a second by Board Member Clement. Ugh. Yep. Sorry, Mark.
Just call me Bill.
Okay. Wilson and Clement, and you combine it and it's Clinton, so that's how I got there. Okay, Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Aye.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson.
Aye.
Board Member King, I vote aye. That passes unanimously.
Next policy is 4220, medical, surgical, and extended health insurance. Again, appreciate the committee and the revisions to that bill. We'll give some time to council to explain the changes there, and if the board feels so inclined, we recommend that you accept the revisions to policy 4220.
Thank you. So 2 things on this one. We recognize that it was lacking a statement of policy, so we added a statement of policy and worked through that as a committee. And then the other thing that we did in 1.4 was really to bring the policy current with our current HR practices, which is when employee separates from employment with Alpine School District, their health benefits continue through the end of that month, so they don't terminate on the same day that they leave. And so we made that clarification in 1.4.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move that we approve policy number 4220, medical, surgical, and extended health insurance.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have motion by Board Member Lincoln and a second by Board Member Bateman. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Aye.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Peason.
Aye.
And Board Member King. I vote aye. That passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next policy is 5250, electronic communication and devices. You have seen this before, and it has been revised. This is in conjunction with the state legislature and the law that was passed this year that requires us to have a ban of communication devices in our schools. And I appreciate, again, the board committee, the work that they've done here, and we'll recommend, if the board feels comfortable, your approval of the revisions to this policy. And again, appreciate our legal counsel and the work that's been done on this.
Yes, so as the superintendent mentioned, this policy came before you last month. A couple of the questions that arose last month is what kind of containers were we going to use? We tried to give that responsibility or that decision-making to the school. It also doesn't say that it has to be necessarily a closed container, just that there's a container. And so that was one of the questions that arose. I also understand that Board Member Lincoln had a question with regards to R277 495-3. And to answer your question, it says there, an LEA shall provide reasonable public notice, and this is referring to electronic devices policy. An LEA shall provide reasonable public notice and at least one public hearing or meeting to address a proposed or revised acceptable use policy. I would consider this the or meeting and the reasonable public notice that it was posted as part of the board meeting agenda. And if the public had comment, they could make comment as part of the open comments. The other request that came from the policy committee was to share this out with our principals. We did do that. We shared it out with all principals at all levels. Mostly good feedback. There was one request from a single principal that came in after the board docs were prepared, so I'll just share that with you and you can decide whether or not to act on it. Their request was that where we have the exception to policy or exception to the use based on like a medical need or those types of emergency, that we require paperwork from the parent to make those exceptions. And we didn't delineate that in the policy, so if you so wish, we can add a line that says, for those exceptions, that paperwork or a doctor's note or something like that would be required.
So is this on number 2, section number 2? If we want to scroll to that. Right
Yeah,
here.
so under that section, basically where there's any time that we make an exception to the general rule, we would just require some sort of paperwork. So, for example, there's an exception for SPED kids. So, if they have an IEP or a 504, right, that would be paperwork that we would use as part of that exception. So, this would be more for like if the parent had some sort of medical concern where they wanted their student to be able to reach out to them at any point in the day, that we have some sort of medical note or something from a doctor. Okay. Yeah, so 2.1.3, when supported by medical documentation, so maybe they just missed that section when they read through it, but that's what it says currently. If you want to strengthen that, we certainly can, but that was the one comment that we got from principals.
So Craig, are we under a legislative deadline on this?
So the legislative code on this changed in July 1. that has the legislative code. So we're going to be bound by that, and then we can make our own adjustments to that. Just can't be looser than that. So this policy goes a little bit tighter than some of the legislation, for example, in the elementary schools. So absent this policy being passed tonight, we would still be required to follow the state legislation. Joel was just pointing out to me that it does indicate in the 2.1.3 that there is support from a medical professional. So after seeing that, I don't think that that principal's concern is not addressed in the policy, and so I would be comfortable with just moving forward as is.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to move forward.
I move that we pass policy number 5250, electronic communication devices, the revised version.
I second.
Okay, so that we have a motion by Board Member Beeson and a second by Board Member Peterson. Any discussion?
I move to amend the motion to include in electronic communication devices means of non-school issued electronic devices such as a cell phone, tablet, smartwatch, or earbuds. So adding the word earbuds, students are able to control their electronic devices that are in a bag if they use earbuds during a classroom, and so just including those in an electronic communication device.
I see what you mean, because it can say, you received this text, would you like to respond? Is that what you're, okay.
Are you guys comfortable with the amendments?
In process.
Okay, do you need it?
So clarify, you're adding what language?
Basically
Just adding
earbuds.
earbuds.
Just earbuds.
Or
It does
I
say
guess,
such as. So,
I saw that. I just had a teacher reach out to me this afternoon wondering if we could include the earbuds or headphones.
so just something to think about. I actually have a pair of Ray-Ban glasses that also could do it. I'm just saying there may be a nearly infinite number of devices, and I really like the such as covering them rather than trying to add them all, but that's just
I'm supportive to the addition. I know in our secondary schools, less students that don't have them in versus the ones that walk around listening to music all the time. So I think clarifying that from the beginning is probably helpful to our teachers and our students.
Call the question, like. can we do
Okay,
that?
so are we gonna vote on the original or the amendment?
The amendment.
The amendment? Okay. So I have a motion by Board Member Lincoln and a second by Board Member Bateman. This is for the amendment to add earbuds into the policy. Okay, Board Member Wilson,
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln,
Aye.
Board Member Clement,
nay.
Board Member Bateman,
Aye.
Board Member Peterson,
Aye.
Board Member Beeson,
Nay.
Board Member King. I think I'm going to vote nay on this one. And it still passes 4-3. I guess my only suggestion is I wonder if we could, the verbiage could even be, trying to think of how it gets written in code, right? Including but not limited to. If there's a way that we can say that, and then it kind of opens it up for things like what Mark was referencing, right? Like anyways, it's a future thing to consider for, a future policy thing is maybe like just, such as, but not limited to. Maybe that leaves the door open enough. Okay.
One thing I was going to mention with this policy, we had a policy party, and it was a party, because those of us that like to write policy. The one thing that I really liked about the policy that we talked a little bit about is that the policy isn't really a one-size-fits-all. And there is some differentiation between the elementary school students, our junior high students, and the high school students. And you definitely can see the progression reflects a developmental understanding, and the rules loosen up gradually as they get older, and as kids have more responsibilities. And I thought that was one great part about the policy. As far as the consequences of breaking the rules or the law, it was really important, I think, for at least for me, to balance that autonomy with schools with congruity, and which is kind of a delicate balance. But I feel like we talked a lot about that and came to a happy balance that individual schools can come up with their own setting up of consequences or misuse, and then they can work with their own community councils and put it in a handbook and make sure that they're communicating that annually. There, even with the exceptions that we had for cell phones, there were definite nuances as you read through the policy. And so I feel, as far as this particular policy, this is one of those ones that I think a lot of us got a lot of feedback from patrons and parents. Surprisingly, not students, at least I haven't. I'm sure that will come eventually, but not at the beginning. But I'm proud of the policy. I think this is something that we can be proud of, and we'll probably have other districts taking a peek at our policy on this. And so I appreciate your support on that. Thank you.
I would, are you ready? Like to amend my amendment? I really liked the language that Board Member King just said, that so instead of saying calling out earbuds, I would like to actually amend it to such as but not limited to cell phones, tablets, smartwatches.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Take out earbuds but add such as but not limited to.
This is fun. Okay, so we have a motion by Board Member Lincoln. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second by Board Member Peterson. Okay, let's do this again. Board Member Wilson.
Okay, this
Oh,
is,
sorry, was there, sorry, I forgot to ask, is there any discussion?
this is kind of like a second amendment. So it's
It will undo what we just did.
okay. Are you, so it's such as, but not limited to?
Yeah, so it leaves it open, so it's giving you examples like the cell phones, the tablets, but it's leaving it open enough where if, AI develops, like somebody comes in with like the Google glasses kind of a thing, that it includes that as well.
Are you, Board Member Lincoln, are you open to including the earbud piece?
I would
In
support
addition-
that.
Yeah, I would be open to that.
I would be supportive of that.
Okay, so the motion was, if Board Member Lincoln made a motion and Board Member Peterson seconded it. If they want to withdraw it and make a new motion, I think we could do that.
You should actually vote on it.
I'm going to
if
vote
it's
on this
been-
one first. Okay. Okay, we're going to vote on this.
Okay.
On the adding the earbuds in, but saying the may include but is not limited to. Correct?
No, it's taking out earbuds.
Okay, sorry, you're right. Removing earbuds, but saying including but not limited to. Yeah, such as.
Can you read exactly how it will be written on what we're going to be voting on, so we hear the verbiage of that?
Well, this is fun. I can't.
I thought we were making a friendly
I
amendment.
might be able
the
to do
amendment.
that if you would like me to try.
I would appreciate that, Craig. Thank
So
you.
this is under 1.2. It's a definition, electronic communication device. Means a non-school issued electronic device such as, but not limited to, a cell phone, tablet, smartwatch, or other portable device. And then we'd also potentially add in the earbuds.
Okay, so the motion that Joylyn has made is to remove the earbuds and add the such as but not limited to. That is the motion we're voting on.
Okay, and I'm just going to say, that this is hard for me because when we rewrite.
You don't like us to do this
I'm just saying
in
that
meeting.
it just sounds redundant to me. If we're going to be saying such as, that's such as. And so I'm saying if we do it, I don't think we should include the earbuds because the earbuds are such as.
I agree.
And I
with
hate to
that.
wordsmith. I hate it, sorry.
So if you say something including but not limited to, it it opens up the door for a principal to make a call or a teacher to make a call based on new technology so that we're not looking at code from 1984 or 1982. It's enough flexibility.
And enough flexibility for future use of things we haven't even heard
So
of.
are you saying you agree with me or you disagree with me? 'Cause I'm struggling.
I'm
here.
saying, adding the earbuds, I am just saying maybe we can make the motion just more simple if we just stick with the original and then, or the second, which says including but not limited to. That way we don't have to include the earbuds, because it will be already
Okay,
in there. and
so
then
the
it won't be
motion that
redundant.
Joylyn actually made, that's her motion. You think her motion is good? Because
Did you
she
say
said
the
remove
motion?
she said remove earbuds, and then we're doing including but not limited to.
No,
That
she
was your
said such as. She said such as.
Okay, but okay.
I'm still unclear as to exactly where this would put in. So are you saying, and recognize that electronic communication devices, including but not limited to cell phones, is that where the wording would be added?
So striking such as. You just said including.
I don't know if this is the way we do it, but can I suggest a friendly change to the amendment would be including but not limited to, blah, 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 and include the word earbuds. Board Member Lincoln, are you agreeable to a friendly change to your amendment?
Yeah, I would accept that.
Okay.
The amendment
So
has been changed.
including but not limited. We're getting rid of such as. Such as is funky. Including but not limited to.
Let's vote.
So we're getting the included and the including but not limited to and the earbuds both in. Okay. Wait a second. I have a motion by Board Member Wilson, but nobody seconded it.
I will second it.
Okay, and a second by Board Member Bateman. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, it's gonna take us a couple of votes to get to the cell phone policy. We're good. Okay, Board Member Wilson. We're voting
On her amendment.
on the one that you
The-
just
okay.
made,
Aye.
which is including but not limited to and has the earbuds.
Aye.
Okay, Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Nay.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson.
Aye.
Board Member King, aye. Okay, that passes 6-1. Okay, so I think we're good, sort of, Craig. Don't let us read it anymore.
No
Go
more
to the
reading.
next thing.
Okay.
The last policy is
Oh, apologize. Okay, so we're going to vote on this again. Okay, so we're voting on the policy that we have now included with the amended language, policy number 5250. Do we have a motion to pass policy 5250?
I'm
Okay,
made a motion.
Okay, so back to Beeson and Peterson. Okay, they were the ones who made the original motion. Okay, any discussion? Okay, Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Nay.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson.
Aye.
Board Member King, I vote aye.
okay. Last policy is policy 7100, discrimination and harassment. There's been some revisions to that. Appreciate the board policy committee and council, and we would recommend that you approve the revisions based upon your discussion.
So this particular policy had some input from associations as well as human resources. A couple things that we did in this policy is update the definition for retaliation. Our policy was also lacking a little bit, similar to our former sexual harassment policies, in the area of documentation. And so we clarified not only how we investigate these types of claims, but also how they're documented and where that documentation is housed. And so those are the changes that we made to this policy.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve policy number 7100?
move to approve policy number 7100, discrimination and harassment.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Lincoln and a second by Board Member Wilson. Do we have any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Aye.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson. Board Member King, I vote aye. Okay, this next section, thank you all for finishing out the action items on our agenda. Next section, we are actually going to do some board meeting recognitions. I think we're all aware that today is the last board meeting for Dr. Farnsworth as well as Rhonda Mortensen. And we want to introduce a video that we are going to show.
About 15 years ago, I had the wonderful opportunity to be named an assistant principal at American Fork Junior High. Shane was the principal at that time, and as I went in and met Shane as a very nervous and excited individual, the thing I noticed most about Shane is his ability to love and care for everyone. It didn't matter who you were or what your background was. He absolutely just valued the relationship piece, whether you were an employee, a teacher, a student, or a parent. He really, really valued those relationships, and one of the most kind and also one of the smartest individuals I've ever met.
Well, I would say Shane is genuine. He's fun to be around. He's smart. I think Shane is kind, and I think he has many great attributes that make him a genuine friend and a wonderful professional colleague.
He's the kindest man I think I've ever met in my lifetime. I love that he's very accepting and kind to everybody he meets. He treats us all the same.
When I was probably my 5th year of teaching, I had a daughter. She had to go to the hospital for some surgeries, and we ended up in the hospital for like 12 days, which is not what we expected. I remember coming back to school like in the middle of that, and he's kind of like, "Why are you here? go be with your family." He wasn't asking me like to make sure my classroom was, or like, the sub had the sub plans and things like that. Like the priority was my family.
Rhonda knew what she was doing when she became the assistant for Shane and the Board of Ed. So I would say that Rhonda was a little bit more experienced, where Shane was a little green in that. I love how they worked together. Rhonda knew some things that I think were very helpful and beneficial to Shane in the very first and second year. I don't know if anybody knows the job of what Rhonda does. Shane's more out in front, where Rhonda, was behind and getting things organized and prepared. And things ran smoothly because Rhonda did the behind the scenes organizing.
The thing that comes to mind is Rhonda is a great mom and a great grandma. She puts everything into taking care of the needs of her family, and that carries over into the work that she does. She not only was my administrative assistant, she also took care of all of the board. When you have 8 bosses, that can be pretty tough at times, but I certainly appreciated her character, her honesty, her being willing to extend herself well beyond what was expected, just so things were right, just so things were taken care of. That's the type of person that Rhonda Mortensen is.
Rhonda really cares about what's right. I really appreciated her ability to kind of see issues and know where she stands with it. And I love that she's been entrusted with so many things, and she keeps confidences. She does the things that are right, and I just really appreciate any conversation I'm able to have with Rhonda.
We all love Rhonda. She is the glue that holds the board together, maybe holds the whole district together along with all of her associates. She is absolutely an angel in so many ways. And Rhonda is on top of things, and she is incredibly patient. I have seen her at times when people kind of threw her a left curve, and she just took it with grace, and she adjusted, retyped, redid, whatever she needed to do to help us do the best job we could. So I think Rhonda is remarkable in her ability to see what needs to happen and to make it happen in the best way she can.
If everybody could be like Rhonda, this world would be a good place.
Anytime that I see Shane on a stage where he is sharing his love for public education, his vision, his commitment, that is a space where I feel I have my favorite memories of him, because he shines and he is able to communicate the story of public education to all perspectives.
Anybody who asks me about Shane and doesn't know him, it's so fun for me to get an opportunity to describe him. Sometimes those academia type persons don't have a sense of humor, but Shane actually is kind of funny.
Employees of Alpine School District, I want to express my appreciation. We're recording, right?
We were in associates. The facilitator just told a big long story about hunting, and we were all visiting, and I can't remember what prompted it, but Shane quickly after the story said, well, I just want you to know I'm the president of the local PETA organization, and I'm very offended by your story. And we all just looked, and he was just deadpanning and then got a big smile on his face, and just knew right then he was a smart, fun, and just a joy to be around.
He lives a principle-based life. He takes the best of what he reads and understands, and then he incorporates it into his life.
I love Shane Farnsworth. I was just so lucky to have him as someone that I could look to as a brand new teacher all the way through my career, and I'm going to really miss working with him. I feel like I'm a better man because of his influence.
would not have had nearly the success, influence without my team and without Rhonda. And thank you. And of all the good things that have been said about Rhonda, I would just add an amen or a second witness. She is a person of complete integrity, just always does what is right, does exceptional work, holds herself, everyone else to high standards. It's been like working with an older sister, just a little bit older sister, okay? But I would say she's unflappable, but I do remember a couple times in my office when we were both flapping a little bit. So it's been so wonderful to work with her. As Kimberly mentioned, she just did everything, set everything up so that we couldn't help but be successful, and really is the glue and the lubricant that makes the district run. And she's had an outstanding career. It has been my privilege to associate with her as superintendent. And so we have an influencer coin for you because of your influence on all of us. Thank you very much.
The time is open for board members to make remarks.
I'm going to start off since we're in this orderly way of doing things. I just want to say thank you to Superintendent Farnsworth for your wonderful example, and I think you've done an exceptional job of keeping the main thing, which is our students, our student learning. So I just appreciate your focus on that and helping our principals, our leaders in our local buildings to set goals and to feel like they, not just feel like, but give them autonomy in a structured way that helps to move the dial and has moved the dial towards greater student achievement in Alpine School District. So thank you for keeping us on track, keeping the main thing the main thing. And Rhonda, I know that you're supposed to be the fly on the wall in so many cases, in so many meetings, but so many times I've looked to you to see. You've been a guide to me, even in that role. Thank you so much for your leadership. And it has been a leadership of this board, and I thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay, I had to write my words down so they wouldn't get jumbled up, and I would need four motions to get what I wanted across. Shane, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you. You not only taught strong values, you lived them, modeling integrity, vision, and service every step of the way. You have a remarkable ability to see people's strengths, place them in the right roles, and then trust them to survive. Under your guidance, people don't just work, they excel. Your legacy will be felt in my life and those of others for a long time to come. Thank you. And Rhonda, I want to thank you sincerely for the incredible work that you've done. You have an extraordinary gift for handling the smallest details that make the biggest difference, always ensuring everyone has exactly what they need, often before they even asked. More than that, you've been a trusted confidant and one of the kindest, most generous people I've ever worked with. Thank you for your warmth and dedication. It has meant the world to me. Thank you.
So I think it was about a year and a half ago, I went to a presentation that Shane gave on proving positive polarities. I don't know if you remember that, but I'm still thinking about that. And I have been impressed by the concepts that you've shared with educators throughout the district. And I know that a lot of them are still thinking and working on improving and becoming better. And I just really appreciate that. That you're a deep thinker, but you know how to apply it to practical situations. And Rhonda, thank you so much for, I was gonna tell a story about one time when you found a cheaper flight or something, and the whole board got stranded in Texas someplace. And I guess I just I loved it. I loved it, and so it was. There's so many times that you've just taken care of us, and I really appreciate it.
Rhonda, I was thinking through the ebb and flow of what we go through up here. And while we kind of all signed on for the public and whatever version of the public showed up, you really didn't get a say in that. And there were so many times where people were not their best selves and maybe communicated in ways that I would wish they would choose not to do. And your ability to sit up here and to sit through all of that blew me away every time. The class and the grace that you have is remarkable. I also echo all the comments on kindness. You know all the little things for everybody, all the little details, and I think those details are what make people feel seen and known. I'm slightly concerned about what we will do without your memory, and the number of times we've been in meetings and somebody will say, do you remember when we talked about this? And we all sit and think, and Rhonda will say, oh, it was this meeting on this day. Here's where it's located. It's a remarkable skill set that you have. But most of all, I just appreciate the way you bring humanity and kindness to roles that maybe otherwise don't give those distinctions. So thank you for all of the times that you have sat here and supported us and everybody else. Superintendent, I thought about maybe going through all the buzzwords. I thought that would be fun, but then realized that would only be us up here. I think there were probably times when superintendent wished he had not shared the differences between thoughts, opinions, and convictions, just by virtue of how many times I used them back with him. I thought that was super fun. I thought we could talk about ERO a little bit. And as much as I would have made that funny, I do think you probably have no idea the number of people you have influenced with that. When I'm subbing out in schools, it is very fun when I see the Vision for Learning or other things, but I've seen ERO everywhere. So for those of you who have not been privileged to hear about that, there was a really big focus on how do we respond to situations. We can't control the events, we can control our response, and what outcome are we looking for? And I know that as we have done that, as our employees have done that, it's changed a lot of things. And so I think this is probably a case of you will never know the depth of your influence, but I am grateful for it in my life. One of the things that I've loved most about watching you be superintendent is the confidence that you have in people. We were talking the other day about sometimes there were positions created or maybe responsibilities that someone hadn't previously done. And I think you have a remarkable ability to see who people can be and what they're capable of. And the reason that they can achieve that is because they know about your confidence in them. And so it has been a privilege from where we sit to watch as different people have grown into different roles and watch their leadership develop. I think that's, for me, a hallmark of a great leader is somebody who's invested with the people around them and helping them to be better. And so watching people flourish under your guidance has really been a privilege. And then the last thing I wanted to share, so superintendent has embarked on listening tours. And we were invited to go. I sat in the back. And my very favorite thing after every one, parents and employees, was it's like he really cares, like he was really listening. And I said, well, it's because he does, right? You bring a genuineness to a role that could seem maybe far removed. And just knowing that you have listened, that you've heard their concerns, and maybe everything wasn't always resolved, but you put people first. And we will miss that. We thank you.
Rhonda, thank you for being a wonderful example and a trusted mentor. I have absolutely loved working with you. When I think of you, Shane, the word that keeps coming up is the principled piece, and it was interesting how often that came up in the video and just how truly authentic you are, that you are someone who does not have guile, which to be in a space like this and not have guile is probably a little bit dangerous. But I have always appreciated that. And one of the things that I think resonates with both of you is that you're both caretakers. So thank you for taking care of so many of us.
Like Joy Lynn, I also had to write down my thoughts, but here I am kind of going off. Dr. Farnsworth, one of the things I've appreciated the most is what a great example you are of like she was saying, a principled peacemaker. It's such a good example to me because I find myself often just like agreeing with people, and anytime some sort of conflict comes up, you're able to not just approach it, but approach it with grace and kindness, and also stand your ground when necessary with that kindness. And it's something that I so admire about you, and I've learned so much from you watching you do that. And so many times I've been in a circumstance and I look over at you like, is this normal? Do we normally have this type of situations? But I know that I can look to you, and you're always going to smile at me and help me and guide me through it. And I just super appreciate that. So now I'm gonna go to my words. When I was elected last November, I was nervous to step into my role, but little did I know I'd be landing in such a soft place. From day one working with you, it's been an incredible experience. You bring grace, diplomacy, and genuine care to your work. In our very first meeting, our first study session, you shared the metaphor about 3 new trees growing from a fallen one, a mother tree. And it was such a beautiful image of renewal and growth, and it set the perfect tone for this year and all of these things. And you bring that to every situation that I see that I have been with you in. You bring such a great perspective. And while I'm excited for this next chapter, I know that we're losing a very steady and calm leader, and you will be greatly missed, so thank you. And Rhonda, it's been such a joy to work with you, like right from the start. You have this gift for putting people at ease and making everything run smoothly behind the scenes, even though not everybody can see that. All of us can see it. And your kindness and calm presence make a huge difference for all of us, even in the short time I've known you. I'm really sad to see you go. And I'm also happy for you because you get to spend some time with your family and with new adventures with your retirement. So thank you for all of your service and all of your amazingness.
Often when I'm asked by constituents or even other board members throughout the state, and they'll ask me why I love Alpine. And I think part of the reason I love Alpine is because Alpine really does support and link arms with families. I have really felt that. And I have felt that in the district office. And as you walk through and you have conversations with Rhonda or Shane, there's no doubt in your mind that they love their own families. And a lot of the decisions and the things that they do in the district is because they care about families. And Rhonda often speaks of her children, her husband, her grandchildren, and how much she loves them. She has the ability to multitask at a whole other level. I think they want to study your brain and how you do what you do, because it is amazing. I appreciate all the conversations that I've had with Rhonda throughout the years, and her kindness, people have said that already, and her steadiness. She's been a true friend. I'm grateful for Shane and for his friendship. I appreciate him and Marianne, and Sam and I consider them good friends, and I have learned from Shane how to dialogue better, how to understand better, how to give goodwill, to give people the benefit of the doubt better. He is principled, that's been mentioned, and that has given me pause of how I can make sure that I'm always making decisions that are principled. And he has and always has been able to adjust so well. He has such a willingness to adjust, and he understands the bigger picture of things. And I'm happy / sad of his leaving. And I don't even know if the public fully understands what a great job he has done in carrying this district, and probably one of the most difficult things that our communities will ever go through. And he has been so principled since the beginning, and he has led us with grace and with understanding. And so we're losing two good people tonight, but we wish them the best, and we wish them the best with their families. And Marianne and Todd, thank you for sacrificing your time and sharing your good spouses with us. Thank you.
Okay, I'll try and keep these comments brief, but for Rhonda, the 3 words that I wrote down were kindness, dedication, and confidence. And then the other thing that really stands out to me, whether I'd be going to see if Shane was in his office or going to talk to Rhonda, coming to her desk always felt warmth and love, just welcoming and just such kindness there. For Shane, I think we both came to the district office about the same time, about 12 years ago, and have worked together in many different, in different roles that we've had. And I've just really valued the collaboration that he shows as we worked through, many years ago, working through FTE allocations, how to make that easier for principals, or just different things that we would work together in boundary studies and operations. And for him, he's always been so kind and supportive of me and really had so much confidence. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
We also recognize that the spouse with the person who's doing this job also gives significantly. So Todd and Marianne, we also have cards for you, and thank you for all you do to provide support at home. Sorry, one more. Also, former board member Amber Bonner made this beautiful quilt for superintendent. It has all of our secondary schools on it, and it was really fun as we were procuring all of the shirts to go to listen to everybody's favorite memory of superintendent. So we hope that you will enjoy that in your movie watching adventures.
Thank you very much. Rhonda, you never get a microphone. I'm good. Okay. Before I express any remarks, I would... Thank you, Board of Education, for your graciousness. Thank you for your confidence, your trust in me. Over a 26-year career, this certainly, last 4 to 5 years have been the highlight. I have grown in ways that I didn't know I needed to. I've experienced things that I could not have imagined I would have experienced. It has been, as I've said before, delightful to work with each of you. You are dear friends, and it has been a challenging, joyful opportunity, and I appreciate the trust, the confidence that was placed in me in appointing me to this position, and the support along the way as we have handled challenging situations and circumstances, and the continued trust. Really, the autonomy to develop a strategic plan that went after student learning that you were fully supportive of has been just a great blessing, great opportunity. I appreciate also my team, Rhonda I mentioned, but the senior leadership team, we were able to organize them. You were supportive of those changes, and I think that just accelerated the work we're able to do because of the outstanding people that I was able to associate with. And then, as was mentioned, I appreciate my family. Some of them are here today. Just unwavering support, love, and sharing that bandwidth that I have in limited ways sometimes with others. And I appreciate, Marianne heard many a board meeting report on Tuesday nights after I got home, and I used to put her to sleep with my dissertation discussion, but these conversations didn't put her to sleep. So, but again, it's been a pleasure. It's been just a great growth experience, and I could not have scripted a better career for myself than what I was able to achieve in Alpine School District. It has exceeded what I thought I was capable of, what I thought I deserved, and I'm grateful for those experiences. I am a better person because of my association with you, because of this position, and I hope to continue to use those talents and abilities and opportunities I've been given to continue to further public education. I am a deep believer, a product of public education, and my children are, and I believe deeply in the institution of public education. So thank you very much. I know we're going to swear in a new superintendent, a good friend, trusted, loyal colleague, and I have full confidence in you, Rob, and the work that you will do over the next couple of years to create 3 strong districts. And I appreciate your willingness to do this, your support of your family, and their willingness to make a second run at this as well. And Bree, you haven't been noticed yet, but thank you for filling Rhonda's shoes. And it's just been delightful to talk with her and see her level of confidence in you and your capacity and your ability to say that we just won't skip a beat with Bree coming to this position. So congratulations, and I wish you well. So thank you very much.
We can share. Do you have to raise your right arm to the square? Okay. If you'll repeat, I state your name.
I, Robert Wright Smith,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Good job. Next on the agenda, we have board member and superintendent reports and information items.
I just have a couple of thank yous to give out. Thank you to Rich Stoll and the communications department has been working really hard on rolling out the new websites for the district and each of the schools, and it's going really well. Everybody's working really hard to make sure that that's going off without a hitch, and it's a huge lift, so thank you so much. I also want to take a moment to thank all of the custodians and sweepers and physical facilities that are working so hard over the summer. My son was a sweeper for a while. They are out there pulling weeds in the morning, and they are mowing the lawns, and they are waxing the floors. They're working hard to make sure that the schools are ready for the new school year. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you.
Okay, with no other reports, I will entertain a motion for us to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Beeson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Board Member Peterson. Board Member Wilson.
Aye.
Board Member Lincoln.
Aye.
Board Member Clement.
Aye.
Board Member Bateman.
Aye.
Board Member Peterson.
Aye.
Board Member Beeson.
Aye.
Board Member King, aye, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.